Success depends greatly on one's ability to make conscious decisions. Each decision is like a note on a musical sheet, and on aggregate, one composes the music of his own life. Each decision requires a heightened consciousness which answers to his inner callings. However, one cannot access those inner voices unless he confronts the painful suffering, the psychological death, as a precondition for rebirth and transformation. But how can one muster the courage to die? Have you wondered why people throughout history have always been so passionate for symbols? They are indispensable for social movements because it channels the psychic energy from the unconscious to the individual's ego. The symbols can be concrete, such as the national flags, the cross, or abstract, such as the idea of freedom, God, fatherland, diversity, and so on. To see how symbols can activate our dormant potentials, we turn to Akichta, the American Indian warrior in WestWorld. Akichta's life started as an unconscious existence of a primitive man, spending his natural life in participation mystique. Shortly after WestWorld's creator, Arnold, killed himself, Akichta wandered to the town of the White Church, where he discovered the maze for the first time. But why would a child's simple game disturb Akichta? After all, the game appears to be nothing but a bead traveling in circles. In fact, it is the symbolic meaning behind the game that activated Akichta's psychic energy, awakened him from the unconscious existence, and called for a journey to find his true self. However, as he attempted to read meaning into the maze and into his now conscious existence, others in his tribe started to be disturbed by his different and aberrant behaviors.
Taku e hetuna.
Kokiwaka ni heshni.
Wicha ni tawa ki on wiuk chan ki gununik te. Wakulun komani picha yeshna I toahan chawa blake. Tukteru ashi toahan.
But that is what a hero like Akichta must go through. The hero's search for meaning, activated by the symbol, promises to be a painful one. The suffering entailed by the very fact of being an ego and an individual is implicit in the hero's situation of having to distinguish himself psychologically from his fellows. He sees things they do not see, does not fall for things they fall for, but that means that he is a different type of human being and therefore necessarily alone.
Taku e.
Waya ko kika. Yeksuya inamaza echo ganahu. Yeksuya ina echetu.
But one should not fear to be different. The symbol grips and stirs the individual and sets his libido in motion, and with it the whole man. Only with the symbol can the old self start to die, allowing the hero to find the courage to assert himself and transmute his personal destiny into the destiny of mankind. Such was Akichta as he spread the symbol among his tribal members, thus awakening their consciousness. Enlightened by the maze, a symbol of transformation, they became willing to die for it. If we are to have a soul of our own, instead of blindly accepting what the collective canon tells us, we must also find our own symbol and our own calling. After the maze activated his psyche, Akihito died for the first time and went through a metamorphosis from a peaceable primitive man to a slaughtering fighter, asserting himself by conquering the territories. Yet his fighting spirit was most evident in his conscious search for his love of life, Kwana, whom he had lost, found, and lost again. What the maze gave Akihito was a purpose to discover a world of deeper meaning beyond his perceived reality. While he had conquered a bigger territory in the same park after his first death, he now longed for a life of wholeness with Kwana in a new world, and that gave him meaning to search every corner for her. In that search, he refused to die, despite all the dangers and suffering he had been through. We must therefore not confuse dying as giving up with dying as courageous transformation.
Mitawa ki hoa chia o wale. Ki hante uma I chia taha.
Only until Akihito realized that Kwana might be in another world did he courageously choose to die for her. And eventually reunited with his feminine spirit within. When he returned, Akihito said that
Iuata yela uhupi. Ni upi kihena. Chaya shichahena nakum.
the message is that having a reason to die is simultaneously a reason to live, to fight for our own soul and win it. How then can we discern the right symbols and find the right path for us?